West Lafayette native Patrick Ruhl went to Harding University in Arkansas for his undergraduate studies in biology. However, while back at home during 2 summers, he volunteered to work on research projects for Purdue Forestry and Natural Resources students, including planting chestnut seedlings and setting small mammal traps. When the time came for his own graduate studies, those Purdue ties led him back to his hometown, where he completed a master's degree in 2014 and PhD in 2018. His master's project looked at the effects of biomass harvest on eastern red-backed salamanders. His PhD research on birds in eastern deciduous forest covered a wide range of species and topics, from breeding habitat associations to stable isotope diet analysis. Findings from his work on the hardwood ecosystem experiment rewrote what is known about even the basic breeding phenology of worm-eating warblers and made him one of the foremost experts on the species in the state. In addition to presenting his findings at the local and national level, Ruhl's work has led to a change in conservation efforts for the species. Patrick is now an assistant professor in the Department of Biology at Harding University, where he teaches classes from environmental science to biostatistics and guides his students in undergraduate research projects. For his work to better inform wildlife management and conservation practices in the state of Indiana, Purdue FNR is proud to honor Patrick Ruhl as its 2022 Early Career recipient for the Chase S. Osborn Award for Wildlife Conservation.
First of all, I'd like to thank my parents for how they sort of raised me with to have this sort of unquenchable curiosity for the natural world. And my dad being a high school biology teacher, sort of always bringing these main concepts of life and biology and curiosity into sort of every little situation. I want to thank my grandparents for encouraging me to get outdoors from an early age, flipping rocks and logs and looking for salamanders, or appreciating the wildlife around me, whether that was hunting or fishing and just spending time outside. I think instilling those values in kids is so important to get us to ask questions and to wonder why, and to just continue seeking those answers. I had some really great mentors through undergraduate school, Dr. Mike Plummer and Dr. Nathan Mills. They did a really good job of sort of honing my scientific inquiry from maybe more of the gee whiz, I really like deer or deer hunting or those sorts of things about biology. They really did a good job of focusing me on following the questions and looking at science as more of a broad enterprise, looking at following the questions and figuring out maybe the focal species is deer for this question, but maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a bioindicator like salamanders to look at ecosystem services or ecosystem health, sort of on a broader scale. I want to thank, obviously, Barney Dunning for being just such an awesome advisor. He taught me how to be a mentor, what it looks like to be a good leader or an encourager, but also someone who follows the questions and looks at sort of the broader scope of things. I want to thank all the people at Purdue that gave me research opportunities when I was still an undergraduate. Rob Swihart and his lab, in terms of providing me opportunities to come plant a bunch of chestnut seedlings and figure out, how does science work? What's an experimental design look like? And also Valerie Clarkston and Pat Zollner and his lab for providing me an opportunity to spend a summer doing an internship on small mammals. Everybody, obviously, who's been a part of the HE project, they've put a ton of work into the planning of that research and just the longevity of that and the plethora of questions that we can address within that system. That's awesome. Jeff Riegel for his assistance at the HE. I'm sure I'm leaving some people out. I need to thank everyone that was on my graduate committee. Mike Saunders Liz Flaherty, Jeff Holland, and then also Barney Dunning again. I feel like I could probably thank Barney Dunning 1,000 times for just the guidance and encouragement throughout this whole process. Can't forget my wife. She has just been such a huge support for me throughout my entire professional career, especially when I was doing all of my research in the hardwood ecosystem experiment. Jen would watch our young child for several months at a time when I would go do all of this research. And she really was the glue that held our family together through that time. And I could not be where I am right now without her. And obviously, I need to acknowledge my many research collaborators over the years, but I'd especially like to thank Ken Kellner. It's been a pleasure working with him, and just so excited about all the research that we were able to do, especially during our time together at Purdue. And then finally, my department chair, Rebecca Rampey, who supports me in the research that I try to keep doing right now while I'm at Harding.